Hello everybody, how's it going? I just bought the wrong ticket. I wanted to see Thunderbolts, and I'm pretty sure I told the guy Thunderbolts, but it wasn't until I got into the theater that my ticket said to go to that all of a sudden I see Tom Cruise on the screen, and he's like, "Thank you for watching Mission Impossible," and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I pull my ticket back out of my wallet and I look at it and I'm like, motherfucker gave me the wrong ticket. I wanted to go see the Thunderbolts. Because I'm trying to stay up to date with Marvel as best as I can, but apparently no one wanted me to do that today. So, no, I get to, I saw Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. This was actually surprisingly a hell of a good movie. It's June and it's 66 degrees. Humid as hell, which is probably why I'm coughing right now. This was actually a surprisingly good movie. And this was like, what, 2 hours long roughly for the runtime? So, usually any movie that's over like an hour and a half, excuse me, I always sit there and say to myself, what could you take out of the movie to make it have a smaller runtime so that way it's a little bit more pleasing to the viewing audience? Because after a certain amount of time, you start sitting there going, well, get on with it, get to the point. Like, what happens? Do you live? Do you die? Do you save the world? Do you get the girl? Do you complete your task? Like, what are we doing here? In all honesty, there was not a single bit of this particular movie that felt like it was unnecessary information. There was just enough of every character, of every line, of every word, of every whatever, that, again, it didn't feel like there was anything that was really worth cutting out. And there was one scene with Haley Atwell, who did fantastic in this movie, by the way. She did fantastic in this movie. There was one scene where another woman, who I'm assuming is like Inuit or something, she's trying to explain to Haley, she's like, so here's how you operate my dog sled with all the huskies on it while I sit inside the darn thing and I take a nap. And that only lasted about like 10 seconds worth of conversation, but it was still funny nonetheless just to watch Haley try to sit there like, oh, so this is forward, that's left, that's right, here's how I brake. That was like the only really funny thing. So I'll spoil it just a teeny weeny little bit. They bring back a character that you would have never have expected it. Like, they did it with his wife 2 movies ago. Katie Holmes? I forget who that is that played his wife in these movies. It's not Katie Holmes. I can see her face, I can't think of her name. They brought her back 2 movies ago, which was a huge plot twist. When I heard her voice on the screen, I'm like, why does that sound familiar? And then I saw her face, and I'm like, oh my god, like, that was beautifully done. And then they bring back a character in this movie, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, why do I know you? Oh my god. And, like, again, they didn't, like, overly elaborate on it. They just go, okay, so he's back, and he's going to do something, and he does. He ends up doing a fantastic job as a character that they bring back. And I think the best part about this, the whole point of this movie, at least in this particular movie, if I understand correctly, is there's a certain level of trust that you have in situations like this, right? Do you do what you think is, well, we're going to do this just because it feels like it's the only option? Or do we let Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt, do what he's supposed to do, and we bet all of our chips on him and hope for the best? You know, there's that sense of, Do we do what's absolutely necessary and right for everybody? Or do we just kind of bite the bullet and say, well, we have some casualties in the process? And there's a real sense of humility and sincerity in this movie. They don't, like, throw it in your face, I don't think. It's not too terribly blatantly obvious, but it's obvious enough that, you know, it flows with the action of the film, and it just therefore makes for a better film overall and makes it very cohesive. And I will definitely give credit to the stunt work on this film. I feel like this film definitely decided to go back to live action stunts. It didn't feel like there was a whole lot of CGI to be had here. Like, he legitimately went in there and was like, no, watch this. I'm going to attempt to do this myself, even though my name is Tom Cruise and I'm however old I am at this point in my life. You know, like, the stuff that you see him do, it looks stupid legit. So, long story short, Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning, and there's a couple other new faces that you see in this movie that's kind of cool that I'm not going to mention, but I definitely give this a solid, I give this like a 4.8 out of 5, in all honesty. Like, they did this so beautifully well done. You know, good versus evil, right versus wrong. So, and again, I was supposed to see Thunderbolts. I wanted to see the Thunderbolts just because I really want to keep up with Marvel. But I guess I'll have to see that at another point in time. So, thanks for tuning in.